Hello, everybody. Let me introduce ourselves. My name is Kamila Sadykova, and her name is Irina Соловьева. And today we are going to tell you about an outstanding academician, Nurmuhamed Muhamedovich Mukharlyamov, and his contribution into the healthcare system. Nurmuhamed Muhamedovich Mukharlyamov was a leading therapist, cardiologist, doctor of medical science, professor, and a corresponding member of the Academy of Medical Sciences in USSR. He was born on the 4th of December in 1930 in Samarkand. Please pay attention to his autobiography written by himself. He described his family. By the way, his parents live in the Republic of Tatarstan, and they were Tatars, and his life before entering the medical university. Nurmuhamed Muhamedovich finished school number 21 in 1947, and he entered the Faculty of General Medicine in Samarkand State Medical University. Then he started to work there in the Department of Faculty Therapy after graduating from the university in 1952. He defended a PhD thesis in 1959, and the topic was about thyroid function in some diseases of the internal organs. Here are some photos of his school diploma and his university admission application. The new era in his biography began in 1960 when he moved to Moscow. After 7 years, he defended his doctoral thesis, which was called The State of the Respiratory Apparatus and Circulation of the Blood in Heart and Pulmonary Cardiac Failure. It was completed under the guidance of academician Alexander Leonidovich Vesnikov. In this work, for the first time, differential diagnostic signs of heart and respiratory failure were developed and introduced into a clinical practice, and the role of respiratory biomechanics in heart failure was studied. Furthermore, the first native universal pneumotachograph was used for the research.
At that time, Nurmuhamed Muhamedovich Mukharlyamov became one of the leading specialists in the field of heart failure in the country, which determined his appointment at the head of the Department of Myocardial Diseases and Heart Failure in the Institute of Clinical Cardiology named after Myasnikov in 1971. Professor Mukharlyamov had an extremely wide range of scientific interests. He expanded his horizons by paying attention to such cardiac pathologies as cardiomyopathy, primary pulmonary hypertension, and diseases of heart valve apparatus. Professor Mukharlyamov was the first in the country who developed the classification of heart failure, which you can see in this slide. In early 70s, the most important event in the development of cardiology all over the world was appearing and active using the echocardiography. The first echocardiograph in USSR, Echoline 20A, was installed in the Institute of Cardiology named after Myasnikov. On the 10th of May in 1973, the first echocardiogram was made under the guardians of Mukharlyamov and Belenkov in our country. Belenkov was the professor's resident. In January in 1974, the first article in USSR was printed in magazine Cardiology. The title was The Determination of the Wall Thickness of the Mass of the Left Ventricle and the Volume of its Cavity using Echocardiography.
Besides, Nurmuhamed Muhamedovich Mukharlyamov was a member of the main medical commission for the examination of cosmonauts. He devoted more than 15 years to studying the problems of space medicine and the selection of cosmonauts. What is more, his students were often sent to Baikonur. The cosmonaut Yuri Atkov used ultrasound diagnostic apparatus argument under the command of Nurmuhamed Muhamedovich Mukharlyamov during his flight in open space. Academician Chazov, who was Mukharlyamov's student, said, "Nowadays, nobody remembers that one of the first studies in the field of space medicine was carried out here at the Institute of Therapy."
218 printed works were published by Mukharlyamov, and his articles became the basis for cardiologists, and some of these articles are stored in our library in Kazan State Medical University. Professor Mukharlyamov honored with many state awards. Some of them are presented here on the slide, and I would like to mention about the Order Badge of Honor in 1988. His students Yuri Nikitich Belenkov, Oleg Yuryevich Atkov, and Ashmarin were awarded the Lenin Komsomol Prize for the development and implementation of ultrasound methods of heart research in 1978.
Unfortunately, because of the prolonged disease, this eminent scientist and clinician passed away in 1989. He was buried in Moscow at the Kuntsova Cemetery. His colleagues and students still remember his benevolence, decency, and responsiveness. Nurmuhamed Muhamedovich Mukharlyamov represented the best traditions of Russian medicine. He was a doctor, scientist, and teacher in the best meaning of these words. We conducted a study, so with the help of the Museum of Kazan State Medical University, we sent official letters to Samarkand State Medical University and to the National Medical Research Center of Cardiology in Moscow. Thanks to them, we got a lot of interesting and important information about this outstanding scientist that we used in our presentation. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.